يبقى في اغتراب فقير في الحياة من الصحاب ومن.
So right now we have our players, as you can see, fully worked, fully smooth. Hello everyone, this is the episode number one of the series when we will create in each video a part of a game. In the end we will complete a full game and you also be able to create a full unique game. Everything will be simple. I will not use kind like complex math or anything like you couldn't handle for the start. But after each video, you will be able to create your own things in your own perspective. So today we will create a simple code or simple system where your character move around. We will start with the cube, make it like go around, go like turn around and shit. So and after that, maybe we will make the cube a character with animation and do other stuff like jumping and dashing and other things. So let's keep our. So let's let's get started. And what you see right now is the interface of Unity. Don't get scared if you don't know like nothing about Unity or interface of it. It's very easy. You will you will get know each time something new of it. So don't rush right now. We will learn everything step by step. So first, as like a quick mention for everything, so you know what we're doing. This is the assets part where everything in your project found. The scenes, the models, the texture, the materials, animations, anything, you will find it here. And here in inspector, this inspector will show you each model or each anything you have in the scene have some things called components. In inspector you can see everything about your thing that you click on, which can be a light, a model, anything. So for example, here our main camera. So in our camera we can see a lot of options. You don't need to know all of them. Okay, by time you will understand each one what it can do. For example, here you can see which background type is skybox, and you can change it to solid color so you can see a specific color you want to put in the background, and a lot of things you can do. So this part is for your thing that you click here, which we said that it's model or animation, anything. You will see a lot of information about it, which can you tweak it. You will see here something called tag and here called layer. Forget about layer for now. Let's focus about tag. What you will do with this? Why we have tag, like player, game controller, main camera, and you can add your own custom tag too. Why you need it? For example, in the future, let's say I want to create an enemy, and if the enemy touch the player, he will die, for example. And so if I want the enemy to know the player, we can assign his tag. For example, I can put the player tag to our player. So in the script, we said simply, we said if the enemy touch the player tag, so we know he touched the player, then he die. Simple as that. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna simply create a 3D here, click right click here, go to 3D object and create cube. You will see a lot of things. We don't need them right now. Let's get with cube. Let's start with cube. Simply. Okay, when you create a cube, you will see like a lot of things like axis and red, blue, green and things. Okay. The red is for X. So he's rotating on X. Like you see here, the green is for Y and the blue is for Z. This is on rotation mode, which is here. You can switch to move tool or move mode, and you can move your character right and up and down, and you can click here or scale. You can scale it on Z axis or in X axis or all of them, which you press here, the small box here. You can also like scale a specific part like this by changing the angle of the camera. You can change more. So you don't need this right now. So let's focus about the cube. You can click here for transformation. We click about the cube. We click here on transformation. We press here and three dot. And we press reset. Then everything will back to normal. He will not apply anything about here. He will only apply the reset only for transform because we press here. Each one have its own tab here. So if I click here reset, it will reset only the transform of the object, which is position, rotation, and scale. We can see other things here, like box collider, for example. The collider is, let's say, each object in even in real life you can't like go through. For example, let's say a table. You can't like move your hand into the table, so there is like something collider, so you can't. So if you press or like touch thing, you will feel it and you can't go through. That's the role of the collider. If it's not trigger, of course, it's like, let's say like this. If I create other object, let's say create here object, other object, Control C, Control V of this. So if the in game, if we make this enemy and want him to interact or push the player, if he reach this point where he get very close to the player and enter his size or enter his collider, he will not go through, he will push it. So it's simple. When we want him to go through, for example, let's say a bullet, or I don't know what you want to do, you want a specific object to go through, not to collide with it, you simply press this button, is trigger. So you say that this object is trigger, so he can go through. Simple as that. Let's check. So what we're gonna do next is simply, this is our player like we said, let's rename it player. Voila, you see, when you rename it from here, it will automatically rename here too. Next step, we will add a tag for it. Maybe we can use it later. Okay. So of course we will make it not is trigger, it's normal collider. It's not a trigger. And before we create a script or create a code for our player, let's create a ground. We will use a plane, which is this one plane. This is a plane. Simply, this is a plane. It have its own mesh collider, so the player, when he go down, he will not go through. He will stand on it. When we make it is trigger, he will go through. Simple. Okay, let's start and see what happened. This is our player. Okay, we want to see clearly, so what we're gonna do, fast move. You don't need to know this, it's fine. Material, red, let's say. And let's drag and drop the red here, so you can see better. If we're gonna press start, you will see that the cube stay in his place, didn't move. Why? because he don't have physics yet. We didn't add a physics to the cube. So how we can add the physics? Simply go to the player, which is the cube, go down, you will see add component. You just simply press add component and go to rigid body. There is two type of rigid body, which is normal rigid body and rigid body 2D. 2D is for 2D projects and rigid body normal is for 3D objects or 3D projects. So you press rigid body, don't press nothing, don't tweak nothing, don't touch nothing. Simply let's make him more up so we can see. Good. And simply press play. And voila. He like land on the plane. By the way, sorry for my English, and I'm trying to practice it and be better. I hope so. So let's keep going. So we have right now our player have physics. He affected by the gravity and the force and everything. So right now, let's go to our player, go down and press add component. We want to add script, right? So type script here. You will see new script. Simply click on it. What's the name of your script? Let's say movement. I hope it's correct. I don't think so. So let's say movement and create and add. Simple. He will ask you if you want to create it. Yes, save. And you can see here, he created the script called movement. And right here in the player, you can see the movement here too. So what we're gonna do now, either you want to double click here or here, we can press it here. If you press, you will see some details about the script. You can see the script, what it contains, what's the code inside it, and the small information about it. So let's click on the movement. By the way, you can use any editor you want to write your code or do whatever you want. So I'm using VS. So the script is default like this. When you create scripts, all your scripts will be, or all your codes, when you create it first time, it will be like this. The only change will be here, the name of the script. You don't need to know these things. Let's just focus about those two, okay, for this moment. Like you read here, this start method or start function, what it do? The start, it's simply what is inside here. If we type something here, it will apply before the game, like in the first frame or in the start of the game. Okay, it's only one time. One time, let's say print. For example, print hello. Okay, and here we print wow. So hello will print it only one time in the start of the game when you press play, but wow will print it every frame. You know, I think everyone know FPS, what is mean. You saw, like, you play, for example, any game, Valorant or GTA, you saw that you, for example, your FPS is 100 or 120. That's frame per second. So what will happen here is do what you want here every frame, every second. Okay? So what we're gonna do right now is we will use two of them, the start and the update. So before we use them, let's assign our variables. What's the variables? It's simply, let's say you have a box. Outside the box, you have a small label so it show you what's inside that box. For example, you have box. On that box labeled, say, glass. So you know inside that box there is glass. So you open the box, you put how many glasses you want. Let's give it an example. Let's say it's public. Of course, we want it public, not private. You will know why. Let's say public. Just copy paste what I said here or what I do here. Public. Okay. Now we need to assign the type of the variable, which be for now is float. Public float. Let's name. Now we will say the name or the name of the label which we talk about. We said glass, but let's say right here speed equal, he completed for me, equal 1.0 f. F is for float. We use it only when we use float, so it doesn't matter right here. Forget about it. What we need here to know here is speed. The box speed have one float or one speed inside it. Simple. We can use other things like public bool da equal false. Here we said we have a box called die. The box will have only one maximum object. So there is two chances that box will be empty, which is false, or it have something, which is true. So the boolean simply is 0 or 1. So when it's 0, it's false. When it's 1, it's true. When the player is not dead, we said false. The box nothing inside it. If the player is dead, it's true. The box is have something. You can say the body of the player inside the box. Simple as that. We will not use it right now because we don't need it. We have other things, other variables, but we don't need it for now. Okay. So right now we will add a vector 3. What is the vector 3? Vector 3 is, like we said earlier, is the axis, the axe. Which one is? Which this? Vector 3 is like this one. You will have the y, the z, and the x. This is 3. This 3 axes or arrows is vector. For example, if you want to go up, you can say vector up or vector dot up. If you want to go right and left, you can say go vector right. Simple. Or vector forward. So we will need the vectors to know which direction we will push our player with the gravity or with rigid body. So that's why we will use the vector. So simply we will do public vector 3 space, we will call it direction. Simple as that. So the name direction you called anything here. So the direction inside the box called direction, we will have like this. For example, you will have inside the direction, you will have like this. It's this one the same as this one. Wait. Equal 0, 0, 0. This one is x, y, and z. So the direction have x, y, and z. Which one is those? When we will have 1 and x, the player will go to the x. Will go like this. If we have -1, the player will go like this, the opposite way. So we will use direction to direct the player to which way or which road he will go to. So in update, which one it will be every second, we need to know which direction or which key the player press and then apply the movement or the vector on it. For example, let's say the player press Z or W. So he want to go forward. So we will apply the force on X, for example. So let's write it down, okay? Okay. So the player we will move on only two axes, which will be the X and Z. Why? Let me show you. Because the player will go right and left, for example, and forward and backward. He will not be able to go up. That's, for example, for the jump. So we will not use it right now. We only use this axis and this one. So what we will do is create a box called a move X, for example. So it will be float and called move X equal input, which will be the input of the player, dot or point. What we're gonna do, we will use or get the axis that the player have, which will be get axis. What's the name of the axe? Will be horizontal. Here he said it need to be string, so we put double quote. This code called double quote. Horizontal. Oh my god, my English is very bad. A second. Why we put horizontal? I will show you why here. Wait. Why we called horizontal? I will show you why we called horizontal. We go to project settings. Go to input. Okay. So as you can see here, the axis of the input manager, the axis, you can see a lot of axes we have, or a lot of buttons we have. First is horizontal and vertical, which one we use together. So the horizontal, which is this one, it's controlled by the negative button, which is left, and the positive button, which is right. Which one here is A and D. And the vertical, it's called for down and up, which will be W and S. Okay, and a lot of options here. You don't need to use it right now, just understand it. Deal. So it will be horizontal. Horizontal. And down, we will do float again, move Z equal input dot get access. Sorry, my keyboard is not that good. Okay, and now we will say vertical. Voila. So we have the player input. So now the player, when he press Z, he know that he press the X axis or W and S or go forward and back. He know this. He will know that he pressed this. And if we go left and right, he will know that the player pressed this. Now, right now, what we're gonna do is simply calculate everything. For example, let's say we're gonna do what we're gonna do is here we will do movement. We will create not movement. Let's say direction, because we use direction for vector. use direction equal new vector 3 and like this. Why we put 0 here? Because here, if you can see, x float x, which is move x, and float y, which is 0, you will not move on up and down, and float z, which is move z. Why we need to use vectors, new vector 3? Because we will apply new vector to him, or new axis to him, which will be the new apply on x and z. That's why. So there is change will happen. Okay, what we can do is simply create rb dot add force. I don't recommend to use this, but if you're gonna learn for the first time, you need to use this to understand how it go, because all of this you need to know the physics how it's go. So right here we do, or we will apply a force on our object to push them the direction which the player will move his object or his player. So we do here add force, we open this and say direction like this. So let's break it down here. So simply right here in direction we have 0 0 0. With this add force we will tell this one, or forget about this one. Okay, let's say, oh, let's talk about this one. Okay, focus with me in this and you will easily understand everything. Okay, you will create your own movement without copying nothing. Okay, so simply when we said that the input here, he take the input of the player, the input which is the key that the player press, which is W, S, let's say the forward button and the back button. If he press that and get the button from horizontal, he simply apply 1 here. Let's say I'm pressing right now forward. If I'm pressing forward, which is move X here, which is X, which is 1 here, it will be 1 here. Let's say I'm pressing the back button, it will be -1. Let's say I'm not pressing nothing, it will be 0. So let's say I'm pressing 1 here. I'm pressing forward, so it's 1. So with add force, it will be apply force to that direction, which will be 1 forward. Let's test this and see what happened. Okay, let's test our player right now and see how it's go. Okay, we have our player. Let's try to move it. Oops, it's not moving. Why it's not moving? Let's break down. So right here we apply the direction of where we want to add the force, but we never add the amount of the force that we want, which is the speed. So we want the direction to multiply by speed. So like this, we want 1 or 2 or any value you want to put here to go in the direction of that direction. For example, X. Okay. Let's try again. Right now, let's try to increase the speed. Let's say, oh my god, it's very fast. Wait. Let's say 5. So when we press left or right, forward, or he will go the direction that we want. If you notice, he's like rotating. Why? Because we're not controlling the cube as a fixed object. We control it with physics, which a lot of famous games use this, like Fall Guys and many other games. They use this method or this system to control their characters. Of course, they add something called rigid body to add some animation or some motion to the player or the character. But right now we have only cube that go right and left. Okay, we don't want to our cube to flip like that. So we simply, let's stop here. We simply go to rigid body, go under here, press this one. It will set freeze position and freeze rotation. What we're gonna press is freeze rotation on X and Z. We don't need right now. You can press it, but we don't need it. Let's try. So when we go right, go left, go here, the cube we will not flip. But I'm like feeling when I press, sometimes it's like going fast and sometimes go slow. You see how it's suddenly go fast, suddenly go slow? How are we gonna fix that? What we said before, that the update go each frame. So this happened each frame, which is the FPS. If we press states here, we will see our FPS. So the cube will all of this will apply each FPS. So this will be multiplied by this. Okay. So what we want to do, because we don't want to fix our FPS, we don't want to play at 60 fixed, no. Or all players need to play at this FPS. So what we're gonna do simply is use something called, right here, void fixed update. It's similar to update, but this one is like fixed every frame. Didn't count on your FPS. It doesn't matter how much your FPS is. It's like I don't know how to say it with English, but it's not each frame. It's in every second. It ignored the frames. It's only count on the seconds. So we don't need to copy all this, because, for example, if you're gonna put the input here in the fixed, there will be delay. So when the player press forward button, like the C that I have, there is delay because he will wait every second. So we don't want that. What we're gonna do, we only apply the force and the fixed update. So the movement speed will be the same. Let's try. So right here you see the FPS state. As you can see here, I'm moving, but it says not moving. Why? Because the speed right now is not enough. Because he used a fixed frame. Let's say frame rate. So let's put 20. Right now he's moving. You see? Right now he's the same speed. As you can see here in the direction is 0, 0, 0. Like we said, if we press forward, it will be 1 on the Z, and if we press back, it will be -1. Same as, let's make the plane bigger. Okay. So if we press left 1 and right -1. So if you notice, when I release and become 0, the cube keeps sliding. Why? Because we're using the force. We're applying force to an object. Let's say this one is a barrel or a box. If you hit it or shoot it, it will not just move a little bit and suddenly it will be fixed in this place. No, it will be go and apply the physics on it. So if I shoot a bullet, it will not stop instantly. No, it will go pushed by the physics. Same right here. So the the player is sliding, like you see. When I stop, he keeps sliding. And I will tell you the reason, but what I want you to do is search. Don't search on the YouTube and don't ask AI. I want you to search on Google normally. Search websites or something without using AI or YouTube. How you can control or transform, this is the hint, transform this object from point to point without sliding or without force or without physics. And the key is, or the hint is using transform, or let's say translate. So this is like the first thing, or this is the first video that we will show only the basics. Right now there's a lot of things to do, there's a lot of things to add. We will do the next videos. So right now we have our players, as you can see, fully worked, fully smooth. So yeah, see you next video, which will be, see the comments, see which one of you guys know how to fix the slide, and next video we will fix it from the comments, and we will add jump to it, which will be smooth, of course, to make everything clean from now until we reach our game. And by the way, we need, if everyone or anyone has an idea uh, what will our game will be, just comment it or write it down. For example, if you want it to be top-down shooter or something RPG, anime, slash anything, a raging game, a first-person raging game, anything you want, guys. Just comment and put me your ideas, what you gonna want me to do. The most comments have likes. Even with 1 likes, we will do the game in the end. So thank you for watching and have a good day.